this is actually one that helps Trump and kind of knocks down the collusion theory because, they were all these media outlets, including Rachel Maddow as her head. Honestly, I don't watch Rachel Maddow, but I kind of want to watch tonight because I think there's a possibility that there will be live broadcasting history. I believe Rachel Maddow's head might explode in front of our very eyes. That's pretty entertaining. It might. She's going through with 17 different color highlighters, this report. She's already got 10 to 15 different conspiracy theorists. It might end up that Trump colluded with Lee Harvey Oswald. We don't know. They said that Manafort had shared polling data of the Trump campaign with a Russian oligarch, and that was collusion. As to Deripaska, Manafort claimed that by sharing information with him, Deripaska might see value in their relationship and resolve a disagreement, a reference to one or more outstanding lawsuits. Because of questions about Manafort's credibility and our limited ability to gather evidence in what happened to the polling data after it was sent to Kilimnik, the office could not assess what Kilimnik or others he may have given it to did with it. The office did not identify evidence of a connection between Manafort sharing polling data and Russia's interference in the election, which had already been reported by U.S. media outlets at the time of the August 2nd meeting. The investigation did not establish that Manafort otherwise coordinated with the Russian government on its election interference efforts. Basically, Manafort sharing polling data with Konstantin Kilimnik had nothing to do with Russia, quote, interfering with the election. So, down goes the collusion theory one more time. Here's one that shows BuzzFeed Story that Donald Trump told Michael Cohen to lie before he went in front of Congress was not true. Cohen said that his statements to Congress followed a party line that developed within the campaign to align with the president's public statements, distancing the president from Russia. Cohen also recalled that in speaking with the president in advance of testifying, he made it clear that he would stay on message, which Cohen believed they both understood would require false testimony. But Cohen said that he and the president did not explicitly discuss whether Cohen's testimony about the Trump Tower Moscow project would be or was false. And the president did not direct him to provide false testimony. Cohen also said that he did not tell the president about the specifics of his planned testimony. During the time when his statements to Congress were being drafted and circulated to members of the judicial JDA, I don't know what that means, Cohen did not speak directly to the president about the statement, but rather communicated with the president's personal counsel as corroborated by phone records showing extensive communications between Cohen and the president's personal counsel before Cohen submitted his statement and when he testified before Congress. So that kind of gives you a little bit more insight into that BuzzFeed story that said President Trump directed Michael Cohen, before he went in front of Congress, what to say. That was the first and only time that the special prosecutor, Robert Mueller himself, his spokesperson, came out knocking down a story. So that was not true. That doesn't mean, I don't know what it means when Cohen believed they both understood would require false testimony. I mean, maybe he was his personal lawyer for over a decade. Maybe they understand each other, and whatever the conversation was, it was implied that Cohen was going to lie for Trump. But that's not a legal thing. We can't prosecute people based on whether one knows what the other's thinking. It's about what's the communication. Here's another one. This one is bad for Trump. The president's conduct towards Michael Cohen, a former Trump Organization executive, changed from praise for Cohen when he falsely minimized the president's involvement in the Trump Tower Moscow project to castigation of Cohen when he became a cooperating witness. From September 2015 to June 2016, Cohen had pursued the Trump Tower Moscow project on behalf of the Trump Organization and had briefed candidate Trump on the project numerous times, including discussion whether Trump should travel to Russia to advance the deal. In 2017, Cohen provided false testimony to Congress about the project, including stating that he had only briefed Trump on the project 3 times and never discussed travel to Russia with him. in an effort to adhere to a party line that Cohen said was developed to minimize the president's connections to Russia. While preparing for his congressional testimony, Cohen had extensive discussions with the president's personal counsel, who, according to Cohen, said that Cohen should stay on message and not contradict the president. After the FBI searched Cohen's home and office in April 2018, the president publicly asserted that Cohen would not flip, contacted him directly to tell him to stay strong. That's new, we didn't know that, and privately passed messages of support to him. Cohen also discussed pardons with the president's personal counsel and believed that if he stayed on message, he would be taken care of. But after Cohen began cooperating with the government in the summer of 2018, the president publicly criticized him, calling him a rat, and suggested that his family members had committed crimes. So, I mean, what does a mob boss do when one of his lieutenants is being investigated or looked at? You send him a message, stay strong. Meaning, you don't open your big fucking mouth. Hey, Tony Soprano, you don't open your fucking mouth. You understand me? Stay strong. That's what that means. So Trump, or shall we say Don, get the reference, was basically saying to Michael Cohen, like, we got you, but remember, we'll also kill you. I mean, and by the way, this language of a rat, I mean, this is mafioso talk. So let's not sugarcoat it. Donald Trump is a corrupt mafia figure. I mean, just because I don't cover him 24/7 doesn't mean I don't see it. It just means, am I breaking anything new to you? This is why we need a progressive candidate to take him out, because I think the best way to take him out is in 2020, not through impeachment, which we'll get to. Then we get to WikiLeaks. This, I will say, I am 120% against Julian Assange's arrest. I am 150% against him being indicted, but that doesn't mean I agree with everything Julian Assange or WikiLeaks does. And this I found troubling. On July 6, 2016, WikiLeaks again contacted Guccifer 2.0 through Twitter's private messaging function, writing, "If you have anything Hillary related, we want it in the next 2 days, preferably because the DNC is approaching and she will solidify Bernie supporters behind her after." The Guccifer 2.0 persona responded, "Okay, I see." WikiLeaks also explained, "We think Trump only has a 25% chance of winning against Hillary, so conflict between Bernie and Hillary is interesting." I mean, I'm going to keep it real. He was trying to create conflict between Bernie and Hillary, so Bernie supporters would not, go and rally around Hillary. There's multiple things connected to that. Number one, I don't really think he needed to create conflict because, as I said during the campaign, I don't know what these pundits are talking about, that 90% of Bernie Sanders supporters are going to end up coming home to Hillary. That's what they were saying. And at the time I said, I don't know if I interviewed 1,000 Bernie supporters right now if 15% would agree to voting for Hillary. So I don't know what they were talking about, and I don't know why Julian Assange thought that they needed to create friction between Bernie and Hillary so to ensure that Bernie supporters wouldn't rally around Hillary. But putting that aside, that's not the role of a journalist. I mean, by and large, I do think Julian Assange has committed amazing acts of journalism. I think Julian Assange is a journalist. I think he deserves his awards. I think WikiLeaks deserves his awards. I think he's obviously put his life at risk, and I think it's likely he's going to be extradited. But I don't think Julian Assange or WikiLeaks, it's the appropriate role of a journalist to be basically trying to drive the release of documents that will be hurtful to Hillary Clinton in order to hurt her and help Trump. I mean, that's what he was doing. So I could like WikiLeaks and I could like Julian Assange and think he's a hero, but at the same time, this is playing political kingmaker, not being a journalist and getting out critical information. I think I'm still 100% for the Podesta leaks and the DNC leaks. I don't have any shame or regret in reporting on them and going through them and informing you guys of it, because at the end of the day, it was all true information, and it showed corruption. It showed illegal coordination between Hillary Clinton's campaign and her super PACs, which, if laws existed, she would be in jail right now, but they don't exist when it comes to the Clintons, and probably not Trump either. when he leaves the White House. But at the end of the day, whether I like Hillary Clinton or not, whether I think these emails should have been out there or not, it's not the role of a journalist to be basically trying to egg on, whoever, the hackers or the leakers. That's a whole nother discussion, whether it was hacked versus leaked, to like take it, stick it to Hillary and help Trump. That's where I draw the line. I think that was inappropriate. I don't think it's ethical of WikiLeaks and Julian Assange to do that. You might not like that I say that, but as I always tell you folks, I'm not here to give you what you want. I'm here to keep it real. And that, to keep it real, Assange should not have been trying to play kingmaker and, strategically drop the revelations, just so he could take it to Hillary and screw her a little more to help Trump. I think he was not wrong to release this information or the Podesta leak to the DNC, but when you have it in writing right there that he's saying, we think Trump only has a 25% chance of winning against Hillary, so conflict between Bernie and Hillary is interesting. Well, in the context of you're saying the DNC is approaching and she will solidify Bernie supporters behind her after, I don't know how you read this other than we don't want Bernie supporters to solidify around Hillary, so let's release this now so we could create conflict between Bernie and Hillary, a.k.a. Bernie supporters. Not rallying around Hillary. Again, I don't even think he needed to do that because I don't think Bernie supporters were going to be eager to rally around Hillary, both the way they were treated at the DNC, if you remember, for you that still have PTSD, if you were there, but also she picked Tim Kaine as her vice president. You think that got Bernie Sanders supporters all tickled tickled? I don't think so. There's obviously, I didn't read the whole report, so those are, I picked out the major things. When I have time, I'm going to go through more. There might be major things that I have missed, but those are the things that I felt were the most important. So a few things. I basically skipped over the whole section of Russia targeting people through Facebook, Twitter, and all these things because I don't give a shit. Some people do. I don't care. I mean, the United States does propaganda on social media. In other countries, the United States has interfered in other countries' elections, including Russia. If you want to follow Matt Taibbi with Rolling Stone, he was a journalist in Russia during the 1996 election, and the United States basically elected Boris Yeltsin through our meddling in Russia. So I don't really care if Russia created fake Facebook pages or, the report talked about rallies that fake Facebook pages organized that like 10 people went to. Come on. I mean, this did not elect Donald Trump. So I skipped over that part. The collusion part I talked about in the beginning. I never thought there was any substantive proof that there was collusion. I don't think the Trump campaign, being that I was on the campaign trail, was smart enough to do that. And honestly, I don't think, at the end of the day, I don't even think Donald Trump was running for president to become the president. So you would have to determine that Donald Trump desperately wanted to win. And because of that, he was willing to go to any lengths possible. I don't think that was actually it. I don't think Donald Trump actually wanted to win, probably till later in the campaign when he thought it was even possible. I think Donald Trump, pretty much up until the convention, maybe a little bit after that, thought there was no chance he would win. And Donald Trump, because he's a megalomaniac narcissist, just loved the attention, he loved the ride, and he was preparing with Roger Ailes, former Fox News president and epic degenerate, who's now dead. They were planning for Trump TV after Trump lost. I mean, there's reports that Melania Trump was literally bawling. She was sobbing when Trump won. They were all in shock that he won. So you would have to assume he wanted to win to go the lengths to collude with the Russian government. I never thought it was about that. I always thought Trump was trying to muddy the waters, say no collusion, end the investigation, because there's ample evidence. Oh, I'm sounding like Donna Brazile. There's ample evidence. There was ample evidence of money laundering, which I think the Southern District of New York is where the action's at, because they have the goods on Donald Trump. His business deals, his company's deals, his children's deals with Russia, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, probably Israel too.
Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.